When the Sony WF-XB700 Mark III earbuds came out, they were my favorite of the pack. But it's been a year since, and other brands have definitely caught up. Top of the line true wireless earbuds are definitely great, but we're seeing an increasing amount of mid-range offerings that offer a lot despite their price. One example is this, the Sony WF-XB700. Sony's naming systems aren't the easiest to understand, so let's break it down. The WF in the name stands for wireless freedom, so that indicates their true wireless earphone series. The XB means extra bass, a subset of their true wireless series that packs more punch than what you normally get out of their already bass-inclined sound. At 199 Singapore dollars, these are definitely cheaper than other options like the Google Pixel Buds 2 and the Sony WF-XB700 Mark III. But there have been trade-offs made to keep it at this price. The first and most visible one is the case. It's not too big per se compared to the WF-XB700 Mark III case, but it's a bit of an awkward shape to let it sit upright on surfaces. However, the thing is that it's made of a cheap-feeling plastic all around. The lid is held in place by tension and springs, and not by the typical magnets used in other true wireless sound earbud cases. Therefore, you won't really be able to flip the lid open with one hand unless you use a nail to pry it open slightly first. It's just not as convenient as other cases where you can flip it open with just a finger. The good thing though is that the translucent cover actually allows you to see when the earbuds are charging with the red lights coming on. The earbuds are the same, clunky, they're big, and even though they sit really well in the ear, they stick out so much that it doesn't feel secure. It's just a feeling though, because Sony's tri-hold design actually really does keep it sitting pretty well. You might even get away with using these for less intense workouts because of how securely they fit in the ear. If you do, you probably have to keep your workouts short. These aren't super light earbuds at 8 grams each, so if you're wearing them for prolonged periods of time, your ears definitely will start to feel it. But let's talk about the sound. As mentioned, these are part of the extra bass series, and you get that right off the bat. There's definitely more rumble and a longer decay, but thankfully, these don't ever cross the line into being too bloated or too boomy. As a result of that low-end boost though, you start to lose detail in the mid-range. Already subtle instruments are even harder to pick out unless you push the volume up. Vocals also take a slight step back here, and you might hear that recessed mid-range when you're watching shows or movies on Netflix or YouTube. Regardless, the sound is still fun and engaging as you would expect out of something from Sony. Battery life is another area where Sony has had to make compromises on. These are claimed to hold up to 9 hours on a single charge, and that's a pretty good estimate. I got around 8 hours and 15 minutes while listening to music, so if you're listening at a lower volume, you might get the full 9 hours. The case, unfortunately, is pretty lackluster. It only holds an additional full charge, which means that you only get a total of 18 hours with the earbuds and the case. You don't get touch controls with this either, yet another feature Sony cut out. Instead, you get a single button on either side with volume control on the left and play pause, track skipping, voice assistant activation, and call answering or rejection on the right. No in-ear detection as well, so if you're the type to take out your earbuds and leave them on the table while you go off and do other stuff, you might have to kick that habit, otherwise your earbuds would drain really quickly without you even realizing it. So, who are these for? For people who are looking for a cleaner sound with a good balance between detail and bass, these won't make the cut. But if you're looking for something that has an emphasis on the low end and won't break the bank, the Sony WF-XB700 is a pretty good choice. So, those are my thoughts on these earbuds. If you have any comments or any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. Like this video, subscribe to us if you haven't, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Until the next one, see you guys.